One of the challenges of any small company is sticking to a budget, and it's no different in the dance world. Have you ever been hunting for costumes online and found yourself having to decide between the made-to-measure professional costume with a 3 or 4-digit price tag and the accessible but much less impressive catalog costume? Well, this video series is for you. In preparation for Spokane Youth Ballet's 2023 production of The Snow Queen, I'll be making 4 villager-style costumes, and I thought it would be a good idea to video the process to show you how it's done. I plan for this series to consist of 4 videos. This one will be a close look at the costume itself, including its construction, materials, and yardage. The next video will show you how to make the skirt. The third video will be constructing the bodice, including drafting the pattern for it. And the final video will be embellishments and a headpiece. If you'd like to follow my progress, be sure to subscribe and hit the notification bell because this is a small channel, so it won't be promoted in the algorithm. If you're feeling especially generous and you'd like to make a tax-deductible donation to Spokane Youth Ballet to support this project, I'll put our donation link in the description below. So now let's take a closer look at this costume. It's a fairly generic villager or peasant dress, so it works well for both romantic and classical ballets such as Giselle, Coppelia, Swan Lake, and others. The style of the bodice is reminiscent of Germanic national dress, while the skirt hits just below the knee, although you could make the skirt any length you wanted. This bodice is 8 pieces, which gives it great shape and structure. The outer part of the bodice is corduroy, flat-lined with cotton. The flat lining means the seams have to be finished separately. You can see these ones are serged, but since I don't have a serger, I will probably have to hand fell the seams. The bodice also has a false blouse consisting of puffed sleeves gathered with elastic and a gathered rectangle at center front. These are made of cotton eyelet, and the front piece is also lined with cotton. There are 4 bones in the bodice, 3 in the front and 1 behind the row of hooks. This means the dancers will still have full range of motion even though the bodice is fitted and has no stretch. At the front of the bodice are some ribbon embellishments, including a piece of lace with a gathered ribbon at center front. Lastly, the bodice closes with hooks and eyes. Moving to the skirt now. The top layer of the skirt is cotton voile, which is a lightweight, semi-sheer fabric with a soft drape. The skirt is a rectangle, not a circle, so it's gathered at the waistband. The waistband is made of corduroy like the bodice, although we didn't have matching corduroy for this particular skirt. The outer skirt is a single piece with a seam at center back where the closure is. The skirt is closed with skirt hooks. The petticoat or underskirt is made of 4 layers of wide net tulle, alternating between white and a color similar to the top skirt. The layers are slightly graduated to give the skirt its bell shape. At the bottom of the skirt are 3 rows of ribbon around the circumference. The skirt is cut in such a way that the selvage serves as the hem. Now let's talk yardage. Each costume will need the following amounts of fabric. For the blouse, 5/6 of a yard. This sounds like a lot, but it's because of how tightly gathered the front is. I'm estimating I'll need about a yard of fabric to make the bodice and waistband. This is based on a similar pattern I have, but when I make the bodice video, I'll be able to give you a more precise amount. For the skirt, you'll need 3.5 yards of cotton voile and 3.5 yards of tulle for each petticoat layer. Since I'm using 72-inch wide fabric, I can get 2 petticoat layers out of 1 cut of fabric. I'm making a 2-color petticoat, so that will require 7 yards total. Finally, you'll need 3.5 yards of ribbon for each row of trim on the skirt, plus a little over 1/3 of a yard for each color of trim on the bodice. If you do a center front trim like this one, It's about 8 inches long, but keep in mind the gathered ribbon will require more length. You will also need hooks and eyes, hooks and bars, skirt hooks, or whatever kind of closures you want to use. You might want to consider hook and eye tape, although if this costume will be worn by multiple dancers, you will need a few rows of eyes to accommodate different sizes, and to do that you'll need to add fabric to the bodice. I'm not going to be doing that because in my experience that type of closure works best with a bodice that has some stretch. That's about it for this video. Once again, be sure to subscribe if you want to follow this costume making journey, and visit the link in the description below if you'd like to support us with a tax-deductible donation. See you next time!